No, we won't point it out.
Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, Bournemouth 1, Forest 1. Let's get on with it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the live stream. And there's only one way we can kick this off. And it's over to Crypto. How you feeling, Crypto? About your boy?
I'm good.
Chat, so might as well.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Warren, man. You've been a brilliant asset and captain for the club, taking us through thick and thin over the past 8 years or so. So I hope you have a good time in Turkey. I was a bit worried when I saw that picture. I saw it. I was like, is that a Derby County scarf? I had to zoom in on the logo. Thankfully it wasn't. So yeah, shout out to Worrell. I'm sure it'll be good for however you pronounce the name of that side.
Besiktas.
Yeah.
Now, joking aside, he's been a loyal servant to the club. Granted, I'm not going to change my mind. He's not Premier League level, but I don't mind him going Turkey and doing well. So good for him.
Do you know what the deal is?
I'm hearing 600k. I don't know how true it is.
I've heard a few different things. I've heard loan again with an option to buy. I don't know if that's true, but
I'll tell you what, if it is 600k, that would actually make me laugh because that shows Sheffield can't afford 600k.
That's poor, that would be poor.
It should be more than that. All right, I can see all the comments.
Yeah,
these lot have been at it. Oh, okay. I'm not doing this. This is all. I feel like this is an Ez thing going on right now.
we thought it was his son that had come on to do the show instead.
Yes,
I thought it was Gio Reyna hosting us.
Look, all I'm saying is it's amazing what a point after a stressful day does to your age, right?
Your haircut.
Yeah, we're good. All right, thanks, all. Yes, I didn't fight. I did actually fight with the sheep shagging shears. That was it. The wife wouldn't help. So I thought, screw it. I'll just get rid. Is Wolfie wearing makeup? No. Look at my eyes, man. Does that look like makeup? It looks like tiredness. Thank you, Jordan.
Well,
Thank you, Jordan.
He thinks you've gone all goth with your makeup around your eyes.
Big up Bravo. He does it himself, guys. He's too tight to pay a bar.
You know how expensive a haircut? I mean, Ezra does it every other day.
You don't get as many haircuts as him.
Wait, how much does your haircut cost you on a weekly basis?
I don't do it on a weekly basis, do I?
Sorry,
daily basis.
12 quid. 12 quid. If it's my Kurdish brother, 15 quid if it's my regular one.
What, he charges you more? Your regular?
Oh yeah, because he's more posher. That's why he's more upscale.
Ezra's got an on-call hairdresser like Micah Richards does. Travels around the world with him,
and he tells me more stories. That's why I stick. Yeah, he pays more. He charges more.
I remember on Alfreton Road, just off Alfreton Road, Dave, the hairdresser, 5 quid, man. He's 5 quid, man. Those are the good. That's when you could afford a haircut, man.
Yeah.
The inflation on haircuts gone crazy. Gone crazy. Anyway, enough about hair. Let's talk football. Because I thought we'd do this stream tonight because there was a lot of I think the right word would be worried Forest fans in the watch, in the player ratings. And it's a bit mixed. How are you guys feeling now? Are you feeling mixed? Are you feeling worried? Are you angry, annoyed? How was it? So I thought I'd get the boys together. And kick us off, mate. What was your kind of overall assumption of that draw today?
Well, first of all, I'm going to make the assumption that we're not going to get a lot of viewers tonight, and there'll be a lot of Forest fans that have now given up, because I was under the impression a lot of people said it was a must win, and we didn't win. So I guess it's all over then, isn't it? But apart from that, yeah, a point. I'm happy enough with a point away at Bournemouth, but I'm kind of disappointed. I don't think it was a very good game at all. I thought the quality was quite poor, and I don't think we played very well. I think we were not that good. Now, I am going to caveat that with it wasn't the team that I would have picked.
What would you have changed? Why did I would
have? Yeah, no, I would have had Montiel at right back.
Okay.
I definitely would have had Toffolo at left back. And that was reinforced even more by the display of Tavares today. And I would have had Mangala in for Yates.
or Danilo.
No, Yates. Honestly,
All right,
today
can you
was
not talk about Mangala?
today was proper Yates. Just running around, running into people and knocking them down. Never passing the ball forward. Very, very slow. No vision, no creativity. Just running around, running into people. I thought it was very poor today, that display by Yates. And I like it. I've always said he's a squad player, but he's not a starter.
The thing is, he did annoy me today. I'm getting sick and tired of that running behind someone, foul him.
With their arms.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
It's just
Runs
so
into
gormless, man. It's so gormless, and it just gives. He's gonna do it against. Who we got next? Newcastle. You can already see Trippier getting a free kick 25 yards out on those stupid tackles and putting it in the top corner. That's my worry with it.
And this is the thing, isn't it? One of our severe flaws is ineptitude from conceding free kick. From dead balls.
Yeah.
And he's continually giving free kicks away. It's not. There's no advantage to your team by giving fouls away. You're just giving if a player's like struggling with the ball and he can't get out, you're letting him off by coming and barging him over. It's so lower league. It really is.
It does make me laugh. There were certain people on YouTube that would say Yates will play for England.
But there were positives as well. The goalkeeper, I'm sure we'll talk about. It was just so nice. He looked steady to me. I wasn't nervous like I normally am, and I thought he was absolutely fine. And that's all I'm after. That'll do me. Absolutely fine will do me. So that was definite positive. Yeah. There are a few more, but I'll let other people.
Let's the other boys jump in. Who wants to jump in next? Who's gagging to talk about that 1-1 draw at you two?
Go on, Crypto. You go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna mention the M word now he's gone, but I would have started Danilo instead of Yates. I think Yates had a very Yatesy game. He runs around like Scooby Doo, just pushing people over, and it was so scrappy. I don't know why. To be honest, I don't know why he gets started ahead of Danilo. I think Danilo is a better player, more skillful. Normally, when he's on form, he can make better passes. He makes better runs forward. He's definitely got a better shot on him. But I agree with Ant in terms of the fullbacks. I thought Tavares had an awful game. Awful. He lost the ball so many times. It's always weird with Forest, and it happens a lot. But sometimes our players seem to just forget how to pass a ball. Which is probably the most basic thing in football. And I know they're under a lot of pressure when they're trying to run forward and progress down the pitch, but he lost the ball so many times, Tavares. So I would have started Toffolo there. And I agree that if Aina was with us, obviously I'd have Aina in that position. Nico Williams, he had one good run where he ran through the middle of the pitch, which was pretty impressive. But apart from that, he wasn't great for me. The three players I would have changed would have been the fullbacks and had Danilo to start over Yates.
Ez, you were one of the only few saying don't bring Niakate back in, go Omar Bamadeli and Murillo.
I actually went Felipe, didn't I? But I'm really glad
you've ruined it now. You've ruined it now. I'm setting you up nicely, man.
Oh, sorry.
You should have just gone with the flow, man.
No,
You should have gone with the flow.
He was going to praise your good decision, but it didn't exist.
You know what? Now that you say that, I do remember that. You're an idiot.
Yeah, I did say Felipe. But I'm more impressed that Nuno stuck with him, and it was the right decision because I think they were the two standout players again. Like I think they were against Arsenal. I don't think either central defender was an issue. But I was a little bit. I mean, I only watched a bit of the player ratings because I had to go. But it was quite a bit of negativity in terms of some of the performances, and I want to just touch on the Yatesy performance. I don't think that was his worst performance at all. I think it was quite solid. It was a typical Yatesy performance, if anything, But if you look at it, actually, I was just while I was saying it, I thought I'll have a look, see if my eyes, because my eyes were saying that he had a decent game. He had a typical Yatesy game, nothing spectacular, nothing impressive, but he just did what Yatesy does. And I looked at the stats, and he's got the highest stats out of I think any of the Forest players, from what I can see.
Yeah, you know why?
Go on, explain why.
Because he took shots and they were shots on target. Therefore, that's when the computer calculates it. But his shots were woeful, man. Come on.
His clearances, his pass rate wasn't too bad. He wasn't the worst yet today, honestly. It was a very scrappy game. I did expect a more open game, I'll be honest. I expected it to be more end-to-end, and it was very scrappy. But we had periods where the good thing about today, and I hope you guys, maybe the chat will agree with me, even though we went down early on, and I think they're one of the highest scorers in the first 10 minutes of goals in games, but also they've given away, lost 15 points from winning positions this season as well. But once they scored that goal, I wasn't down. I wasn't like, we can't get back into this game and we can't. And even when we got back into it, I could see that we could go on and win this game. I felt we were comfortable most of it. And as the first half went on, I thought the chances that we did create in the first half were decent. I mean, Taiwo created a really good chance for himself when he was through, and I don't know what that shot was in the end. You know, it's like it was worse than a pass back. But we did have opportunities, and I think we had the better opportunities in that first half. I'll go back goalkeeper. I think we've all agreed. I had no panic with him in goal, but I think overall I was happy with. I was always going to be happy with the result. They are our bogey team. That's 8 games without beating them now. You know, it needs to be addressed. But we didn't lose today, and I would have taken that. And if you look at, I think it mirrors exact results from last season. We lost 3-2 at home and 1-1 away, wasn't it? Same again this season. You know,
after blowing the lead.
Honestly, Bournemouth will be a team that's not going to be anywhere near the relegation battle, as far as I'm concerned. You know, so to get a point from there, I think that's a decent point. I'm happy with that. And I don't really understand the negativity. There's one particular character who's he's in our chat as well. He seems to be in every chat. You can talk, mate. I think you've been spreading the negativity, if anything. But let me just bring him up. So I've seen some of your comments, bro. I don't know where you're coming from. So if you wanna, let's do a little bit of comparison and fair comparison. Nuno's had 6 league games. We'll ignore the cup games. 6 leagues. Let's look at Nuno's 6 league games and Cooper's last 6 games. So we've got 2 wins and a draw out of those, 3 defeats, 7 points out of those games. What did we get? What did we get out of Cooper's last 6 games?
Yeah, especially as away games.
1 point, 5 defeats. So there's no comparison. Anyone who's been negative about how we're playing at the moment, because the point I just made about me still feeling confident that we could get something out of the game, even going behind early on. I didn't have that under Cooper. As soon as we conceded a goal, it was pretty much game over. We weren't getting back into games. I think most of you guys will agree that we've pretty much been in every single game, even the ones we've lost. You know, we haven't been battered by anyone. We haven't been embarrassed by anybody, and we've been in every single game. And that can't be said under Cooper this season. So I'm positive. I don't see where the negativity comes from. I would have taken a point before the game kicked off today. So I'm happy with what happened today.
I love this comment from Christian. Just so funny to see how different people see the game. If you look at the stats, it's totally. If you look at the stats, it's totally then how many see it. What game did you guys watch, or did you fall asleep? And that's what I love about it.
I think that might be totally different to how many see it. That makes sense.
I think the point is, just on Yates quickly, is I don't think he necessarily had a bad game for him. I think he had a Yates game. That was classic Yates.
That's a classic Yates.
That's what Yates does. He runs around and he pushes people over. Yeah. He thinks he's playing rugby. So for Yates, it was a good game because he did what he does. But I don't. If you compare him to other people, I don't think it's the same level.
If I had to give him a mark out of 10 as a Premier League performance, I'd give it a 4.
For Forest?
No, for Yates.
For Yates. No, I don't think
as a Premier League, performance, I'd give it a 4.
For Yates,
if you look at the midfielders that are around that could do so much more. Anyway, I don't want to bash on Yates because we know what we know. He's a good lad. We know what he is. Yeah. He's a squad player. It's not his fault. He's being played for 90 minutes or whatever. So
Yeah, but the thing is, it's clear it's just a a position holder, isn't it? Until Sangare comes back.
Yeah.
But let's be clear, that's what it.
I think that's definite. Yeah.
The one that surprised me, Ant, was there was a lot of digs being had at Dominguez. I've seen a few in the chat as well that he was rubbish. I think he was all right. I wouldn't say it was his best game, but
until he ran out of steam, I thought he was fantastic. That guy was everywhere. His tackles were going in, last ditch foot. He's putting his foot in at the last ditch. I thought he was really good today. I thought he was really good today.
I think it was another 20 minutes or so where he lost the ball a few times.
He gave the ball away.
He got better as the game went on.
But yeah, and that's fair for people to point that out. It is dangerous, but
I've noticed over time, actually, a lot of the people who get criticised, the main reason normally is if they lose the ball. It's the easiest thing to spot when you're watching it, is who keeps losing the ball. And if you do that, you're immediately looked down upon.
But
I've said this before as well, though, Crypto, that the biggest loser of the ball at Manchester City is Kevin De Bruyne. He loses the ball more often than anybody else in that side. You can check those. But
I mean, he gets assists and goals.
You don't get onto him, do you? Because he misplaces a couple of balls every match. You know what I mean?
I think the reason people get onto Tavares as well is because he's losing the ball as a fullback. If he was losing it as a winger by trying to create plays and stuff, it's up the other end of the pitch, so it's not as bad. When you lose the ball in your own half,
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also it makes it more risky, doesn't it? If you're losing the ball in your own half.
Yeah, going forward, he was an option because when Hudson Odoi went down injured, I genuinely thought what Nuno might do is bring Toffolo on and push Nuno further up. Because going forward, there's several occasions where he traveled like 40, 50 yards with the ball and got us into a decent position and away from our opponent here. So he runs well with the ball, but it is his concentration or maybe lack of concentration at the back that we've all agreed that makes Toffolo a better defensive option. But going forward, he's not an issue for me. I'm not going to have a go at him for what he did on social media. There's somebody in that club who did something worse as far as I'm concerned, and I've forgiven him. So I'm not going to go on about that. But as a footballer, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's getting a lot of shit because of that, to be honest. I don't think he was that bad today. When he did lose ball, it didn't cost us. In the past, it has. And if there was one crossfield ball, it was quite deep into injury time on the first half, wasn't it? Which was absolutely pathetic. On his weaker foot, trying to make a 40-yard crossfield ball, that was just bad decision making in what could have been a crucial time of the game. But I think there's a lot of slack that he's getting that I don't think he deserves. I don't think he's the worst option we've got. We've only got two options until Aina's back, and I agree. I think. I've heard Wolfie say that he'd be straight back in at left back if in the left back position and Montiel at right. Once he is available, and I'd probably agree with that. But for what we've got at the moment, I just think Nuno obviously likes him and he will keep playing him ahead of Toffolo. But Toffolo is an option defensively.
But Toffolo
has been playing right back in AFCON, and I think that Nuno Espirito Santo likes Nuno Tavares a lot, and it wouldn't surprise me if Aina came in and he's obviously dropped Montiel, so it wouldn't surprise me if Aina came in at right back and we kept Tavares at left back.
That does worry me. He's been more a right wing back in the Nigeria team, hasn't he? So they play a three back, which is interesting to see. The only thing to say about Tavares, I just thought his crosses today were fantastic, but there was no bodies in the boxes. He put a good few in, and then you just look at it. Taiwo was kind of running to the front post. It was going over him. But our midfield doesn't break into the box. And that's a little frustrating. If you're getting some, like, for all his faults, I won't ever cuss down Tavares' crosses. I think they're really good. Good shape on them, good pace on them, what have you.
I think he should be on that corner.
Flowing in, man.
He should be on the corners, especially the in-swingers.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I have no problem with Tavares being used as more of a winger. That it's the defensive side of it. Forget he's going for it. It's the defensive side of it that worries me. And Christo's quite right. When a left back gives the ball away, it's more dangerous than somebody closer to the front or whatever. it's that aspect. If he was to be played as a winger, I'd say, yeah, it's a decent option. Certainly better than some.
I mean, certainly one thing I was calling for at halftime is you got to get our wingers involved more. I mean, first half, Elanga hardly touched the ball at all. Hudson Odoi obviously very cleverly got the goal right at the end of the half. But I wanted to see crosses being whipped in, and then in the second half we did get in positions. We're cutting back, and then you're letting them back into the. You know, I hate that. It really pisses me off. Just hit it first time. You saw them do a couple of them when Atara Django, whatever his name, came on. He hits them first time, and it made us panic. You know, so. We've got to be braver on the ball from our crosses, and I've got to say I agree. Nuno's Tavares's crosses were probably the best, but on the other side, normally Nico Williams is a really good option. He was poor today, and even when Montiel came on, he didn't get any crosses in. So we didn't get our wingers involved, and I think that would have been where we would have got joy, because the middle of the field was so.
But to do that as well, as you need the likes of Danilo to be running in as well, don't you? It's no good just having Taiwo on his own, you know.
Exactly.
Because if you only have one up there, it cuts down, you know, front post, back post. You want to have both available, don't you?
The thing is, though, don't forget that Toffolo is also one of the best crossers of the ball.
Yeah, he is.
He's had a few assists. So if we're saying that Tavares's main benefit is the crosses he whips in, I think Toffolo could do exactly the same. The one thing that, you know, to put a positive spin on it, the fact that Nuno keeps playing Tavares says to me that he wants to play attacking football, because Tavares is clearly an attacking player who sprints at the defense. And Williams, yeah, more so than. So maybe that's why he's not playing Toffolo. I think Toffolo is the better defender, but maybe Nuno wants to set a formation where we're basically just running at them. The other side of that, though, is that if you're going to do that, then you need to be crossing in balls, and we did hardly any of that today.
Yeah,
you need to have a creative, progressive midfield as well, mate. It's no good having Yates in there.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, there's just under 400 of you in here, 89 likes. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new here. And something I wanted to talk about was, just touching on this crossing thing that you guys are saying. There was a lot of times, not just a couple of times, where we were getting some overloads, especially on that right-hand side. You saw like Nico going there, and Yates was drifting out, and sometimes Morgan Gibbs-White was drifting out. But then they weren't getting in behind the fullbacks and putting the balls in. Like every time they opted to either square the ball back across into the middle or build it back to the defense and then try. And it's just like, this is where I think Nuno is still struggling as in the manager. His philosophy is get the ball out wide, get in behind, get the crosses in, or play it off the striker, feed the ball out to the wingers. I still don't think he's got his philosophy across yet to the players, or they're still not quite. It's hard, isn't it? You're changing a whole system from what they used to under Cooper into this totally different system. Yeah, and you can still see they just were cutting in too many times and just not taking on those fullbacks, man.
I think a lot of it is to do with lack of progression in the midfield, though. If you've not got players running in, if you are a clever crosser of the ball and you look up and there's nobody there, then what do? You turn around and pass it back, don't you? And we were doing a lot of that. It reminded me, it was almost like we'd watched that team we played at home recently and thought, oh yeah, we'll do that, because they were doing the same. You know, they were just passing it, getting into attacking positions, nobody there, pass it back. And you're right, all of it was frustrating because we were getting in decent positions. But you've got to have those runners. You've got to have those midfield runners.
The difference with people like Arsenal is they take their chances. Taiwo missed his chance today. Omobama Dele, I know he's a central defender, but that was the best chance of the game, and it went flying off his thigh. Yeah. One of the biggest problems for me today is I think Elanga's not great on the right. I think he's way better on the left. I think Elanga is absolutely brilliant on the left. On the right, he just seems to get lost a bit. I also think, though, that Callum Hudson Odoi is also better on the left, because everything that he's done in terms of goals and assists is where he cuts in. So for me, Elanga should be the key left player with Cho as the backup, and then it would have to be someone like Reina or Dominguez on the right-hand side.
I'm not convinced. I think Elanga was pretty good on the right. I mean, look what he did against Newcastle. I'd say his best game for us was Newcastle when he was fully fit.
He didn't look very
He's out on the
consistent
right.
though. He normally always looks consistent.
Yeah.
He normally looks like one of the best players on the pitch, alongside people like MGW.
He's not fit.
Murillo.
He's not fit, man.
I was going to
No way
say,
he's
yeah,
fit.
you could
But
see
even
he wasn't
even
fit.
MGW today
wasn't
was it was a bit lost in there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It wasn't match sharp today, that's for sure. Elanga's a bit off it, but I agree. I do actually prefer him on the left cutting in. But let's hope Hudson Odoi's injury is not anything too serious, and it was just a precautionary reason for taking him off.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely, like I said, there was absolutely no need for it. He could have dragged him down, could have tripped him up. He didn't need to scrape his Achilles, where he's had almost a career-changing injury from. So yeah, that was disgusting, and it was. But referee was absolutely right to send him off. I do believe also, I'm sure somebody in the chat's already mentioned it as well. Clivert should have been sent off. Should have had a second booking before
several occasions. Yeah,
on several occasions. But there has been some comments about the referee. I think generally she did really well. She let the game flow, let a few challenges, ignored a few challenges, and let the game, run its course. I've got no complaints with her performance.
I already had it in my notes that I was going to say, although Wolf is scaring me with his new sharp fucking cut
and it's intense.
Your virtual notes, your mental notes. I thought that was the best performance by a referee I've seen this season for Forest.
No way, man. No way.
Yeah, what did she do wrong? What did she do? You know what I liked? The players weren't effing and jeffing at her so much. You know what I mean? They looked at her and went, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. And I did notice that. I did notice.
Yeah, but a few of them did get booked for.
I don't know what she did wrong. She let the game flow. The only thing I would have criticised her for is she didn't send off
Clivert.
That's the only. To my mind, what did she do wrong?
What do you mean the only thing? That's a big thing, Anne. That's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
Yeah, but she did send Billing off.
So?
And when I first saw that, I thought he just clipped his ankle. I thought, hey, red card? What? But then I saw a replay, and obviously it was right. So
You're getting called woke in the chat, and
both those incidents, she had a good view on
me. You wouldn't call me woke, man.
Chad, did you? Yes
no,
or
I
no?
just thought she was good. I thought
yes
she was
or no,
really
chat.
good.
YRN was the chat good? You're always good. Did you think the ref was good today? Ant the woke, love it. Just put YRNs in there.
Yeah, yeah, go on then.
I just think people were pussyfooting around this whole ref thing. I didn't care if she's a woman or a man. She didn't let the game.
I don't care. I don't care.
She didn't let the game flow at all. There was times whistle where
look at all the misogynists we've got in the chat.
Huh?
You think she didn't let the game flow?
Misogynists we've got in the chat.
I didn't. I really didn't. There was a time
Harvey
says
he's definitely a misogynist. I'm kidding, Harvey. I'm kidding for you. You know.
You see, Laurie. Last time I checked, Laurie's not a bloke, and she. Wait, which way is my question? I can't remember.
She wants to
know nowadays, bro.
That's why.
Oh God,
she was man of the match.
If you saying why? If you saying no. Yeah, the mustache finally gone through, man. I've hit puberty finally. I don't know. The other things
I've not.
I get what you're saying though. There is that oh crap, it's a woman and we can't start effing and jeffing at her, which is good.
Yeah.
Why does that need to be a thing? That should just be the respect you see across all
Absolutely.
referees.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely should be.
I mean, look, none of us particularly like referees. We know there are a lot of arseholes out there. We know there are a lot of egos out there. But nevertheless, in no other sport can you swear like that at the referee. No other sport.
And
you do that. Can you imagine? I'm trying to think of a tennis player. Djokovic turning around and telling the umpire to F off. That was effing in. You know,
there is a tennis player like that. I can't remember what he's called.
Nick McEnroe.
Or a snooker player. Imagine whispering
the Australian. He's Greek.
Nick something.
But I think both me and Ant have said, the day when the refs are mic'd up, the sooner the better. But there's no need for the effing and jeffing. And we grew up under listening to Brian Clough, and he said he would never let his players even approach the referee. You know, so
Yeah,
due respect. That's the era I grew up in, and I think we've lost it to a huge degree, especially with these young multimillionaires that are on the pitch who don't give a shit sometimes. You know. Bamidele will learn his lesson for bouncing the ball away when he didn't get the decision. He was trying to draw that foul, wasn't he, to get Kluivert sent off, but she wasn't having it. But to be fair, both those challenges, one with Billing that he did get sent off for, and one that Kluivert should have got sent off for, the slide tackle where he missed. She saw them both. So one was a bad decision, and the other one was absolutely the correct decision. But other than that, I don't think there was anything really to pull her up on. There was not too much. There was no decisions that needed to go to VAR, as far as I'm concerned, or anything like that. And you know, it was nice to see a VAR-less game, to be honest. You know, where VAR didn't take over. Yeah.
Can we talk about he's becoming my favorite player now, Murillo. He's been sensational these last 2 games, hasn't
Absolutely.
he?
Yeah.
Like he just looks like he's improved.
It's in his face, isn't he? There's no doubt about it. It's him plus somebody else now, isn't it?
Is it my imagination, or is his heading getting? Is he becoming more dominant in the air as well?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
really, you know, muscling in, getting his head on.
Yeah, and obviously we've been paying attention to it a lot more since we brought it up. But it's helped by his position. His positioning is a lot better, which allows him to get, you know, a better purchase on his header. But there's definitely an improvement, and a guy who's improving a game on game and who hasn't been dropped for a single. He started every single game since he's
started every game. Yeah. Well, I think we can all agree that FFTV has developed Murillo into a brilliant defender with our feedback.
We've helped,
and we advocated for him to be starting as well.
Yeah, and Bamidele.
Bamidele, absolutely.
You got to be happy with him as well. Yeah,
but we'll talk about Bamidele. But the thing for me with Murillo that I've noticed more and more as his confidence has matured and got better. I mean this in a nice way. He looks like a goddamn bully on the pitch. He just absolutely slapped Solanko, shout out to Jace, Solanko around all day today. I didn't notice Solanke any point in the game apart from when Murillo spun him round. You know, he's just so dominant, man.
He very rarely just hoofs the ball either. He always tries to carry it and then pass it, doesn't he? Honestly, look, he's a totally different beast, a totally different animal, and a totally different physique. But he reminds me of Virgil van Dijk, the way that he just like gets in front of players.
Not today, though.
They can't get round him. You know, it's
very dominant, isn't
not today. You don't want to compare it to. I'm just waiting for NFFC 1865 to say that Murillo is our worst player in our team. I'm pretty sure it's going to come soon.
Waste of money.
I think he's got better traits than Virgil. Because hear me out. I rate Virgil van Dijk, but whatever. But Virgil's never had lightning pace. I mean, he was quick before he got nailed at that Everton game, and then he's never really recovered that pace. But Murillo's so deceptively quick, man. He looks stocky, like he shouldn't be quick, but he's lightning, and he's got quick feet as well. He's just, I think,
he's only 21. He's only going to get better. The problem Virgil van Dijk's got is that he's not Brazilian.
Deutsch.
I think Van Dijk's a better header at the moment because I think he's got that little bit of height on him. But Murillo is definitely improving in that department. And if you think about all the great 100-meter sprinters, they're all actually built like that, aren't they? They're all muscle and power, and that's what he's got. He's got power, and that gives him the pace. It's fantastic to watch him get in front of players and stuff, and nobody bullies him. Nobody.
Because sometimes it actually helps.
Sorry, can I just shout out Max, because he's a cherry, but he's one of the most respectful cherries you'll ever find, and he's part of the reason why I've softened my stance towards Bournemouth. He's always honest in the way he assesses the game, even at the City ground and stuff. So massive shout out to Max. Billing was a twat wolfie. Forest last 15 minutes all over Bournemouth because of the 10 men. Yeah, but we didn't penetrate you guys. That was
No,
the
we
thing. But
didn't.
massive shout out to Matt. I hope you enjoyed the game. I know he was down there. Sorry, as you're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say sometimes it actually helps that Tavares is a little bit clumsy in defense because it gives us the opportunity to see how good Murillo is because he's always the one mopping up, isn't he? But yeah, really dominant display today. How quiet was Solanke? He didn't didn't have a shot on target, did he? The only time he nearly got in was a slip very late in the game and late in injury time where Bamadelli slipped and almost let him in. But other than that, honestly, the pair of them between them kept certainly one of our nemesis, and it's one of the top scorers in the Premier League out today, and very comfortably as well. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what he can get to, and I just hope, like I said, we see half of Murillo's potential, and on Bamdeli at Forest, at least half of it, because if those two keep progressing in the manner they are, then it's going to be extremely hard to hold on to them. But let's just hope we can keep them on for at least another year or two.
Just on that point as well, I know there's a lot of people that are disappointed today, but first of all, we didn't lose away from home. And second of all, apart from the goal, I don't think there was a shot on target.
No.
There was the one that Sell saved, but that got blue as a foul, so that doesn't really count. So if you compare it to losing 3-2, I know there was the volley situation, but we are getting better, and we still don't have 3 or 4 of our key players in there who are at AFCON. So really, the only way should be up.
Spot on.
I'm really positive. I just didn't understand it wasn't a lot of negativity, but just any negativity at the moment because I think we're really.
I think it's
out of the game. Sorry,
I think it's the apprehension. Like I'm not. I wasn't negative about the game. Like, but
that's
I am.
More to do with the situation, isn't it? Sorry, that's more to do with the situation involving like PSR and all that, rather than what we're doing on the pitch. Because what we're doing on the pitch is more progressive and more ambitious than I've seen all season. I didn't think at any point we were out of a game today, and we could have won it. Once we got back into it, we could have won it, and I've not felt like that. And
we know as well as that the team, shall we say, feel more progressive and positive under Nuno as well.
56% possession away from home.
No,
was in the 50s.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, that was in the 50s before the sending off as well. It's not like the sending off switch.
Yeah. I think it was over 50 at half time, wasn't it? Because I nearly texted you to say, what the fuck is going off here?
Yeah. Let me just shout you out some score stats quickly. So download the app, don't forget. Yeah, I'll sip in a second, don't worry.
Yeah.
So the XG, we were 0.53, which wasn't great. Bournemouth 1.27, 56-44. We had 8 shots to their 9. We had 6 on target to their 2, which underlines what Crypto was just saying. And then we had 2 shots off. They had none. They had 7 blocked shots. They had 11 corners. We'll talk about corners in a minute because that was quite worrying against R6. But overall, the passing accuracy, passes, we had 427 to their 330. Our passing accuracy was 77 to their 69. I don't think either team flattered themselves today in passing accuracy, to be honest. And long balls, we had 48 long balls. Any other stats here? Aerials 123 to their 15. Tackles 31 to their 15. So a lot of stats that are somewhat positive. There was a lot of sideways passing, though. I'll be honest with you. A lot of sideways backwards passing. Because I thought Bournemouth's press, especially in the first 30 minutes, was sensational. They choked us in those first 30 minutes of their press. I was really impressed with that. I don't know what you guys thought to their press. I'd like to see us do a bit of that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, the amount of pressure we were under literally in the first 5 minutes was... It looks like we weren't able to cope like right off the bat, which I think is why we'll rejoice when Sangare comes back and people like that who can hold the midfield up more. One thing that we did GOR last night, right? So one thing I said last night was that my biggest worry after the goalkeeper situation was set pieces, and yet again we conceded from a set piece. the one positive spin on that is that we did look better after defending corners, because as Wolverine said, there was 11 corners or so. So obviously we didn't concede any more, but straight off the bat, you're conceding from a set piece. It happens pretty much every game. So something has got to be worked on there, because I don't know what the statistic is, but if you see how many goals are taken from set pieces, it's got to be more than 50%, I would presume. We've got to get. I mean, we're the worst in the league, aren't we, at conceding set pieces? It's always bringing it up on Sky. There's two stats they always seem to bring up. One is the worst at set pieces, and two is we haven't scored a goal after the 90th minute, I think, in injury time.
Yeah, I mean,
so we've got to improve on that.
Can I just say, though, I thought it was a brilliant corner. I thought the way the guy got up really high, just glanced off his head. I know you say it's always
Nico Williams.
No, all Lewis Cook's corners were really dangerous. All of them were. So once he was whipping in from and our first one, the very first one, Morgan Gibbs White took, Balotelli almost got his head on it. But after that, our set pieces were poor again today.
I was going to say if we took corners like them, we perhaps wouldn't be bottom of the table for scoring from corners. You know?
That's why you need Toffolo.
You're playing tougher. No, I disagree, Ant, because their corner. If we had done their corner, we'd all be complaining that it didn't clear the first man, because it didn't clear the
first man. It came off a Bournemouth player's head.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Nico Williams' head.
It didn't come off Nico Williams. It didn't come off Nico Williams. That's why
very, very clear. The Bournemouth player knocked it on.
Watch it again. I was wondering why you were playing. I wondered why you were blaming him so much. It didn't come off.
Yeah, I was as well. Yeah.
It looks to me like it did. No, I'll watch it now. If I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected.
It was a flick on and flick on by Sinestra, wasn't it? And
it was a really good corner. Well headed on, and they had a play on the back post. That is going to criticise. It's leaving a player on the back post as criticism, not the header.
Yeah, that would have been Balotelli's fault. But I mean, if Balotelli had literally touched that ball, it would have gone in the net anyway, because it was so close to the goal line that if he'd done anything, he wouldn't have been able to clear it. So the thing that annoyed me about
why don't we have players on the post? A player on the post would have just stood there.
Doing it.
Well, yeah,
they kept a man back as well on their corner. So why didn't we have a man up? We had everybody back, but they kept a man back on each.
The worst thing about that goal was that if you rewind it by about 30 seconds, their attack started from Nuno Tavares making a mistake and knocking the ball out of play, and a throwing went over to that side of the pitch, and then they got a corner. So it just shows you like how it can affect the game. I know some people will say you can't relate it because it's 30 seconds away, but that period of attack started because of a mistake from someone who was consistently making mistakes all game. And I don't know how many of you noticed, but there was an advertisement running around the boards all game that actually had an animated dog running along it.
That Vitality
I can understand, that Vitality ad. Mm-hmm. So I can understand why he had a bad game, because he was probably looking at that more than the football.
Distracted.
It's 100%.
I don't think you can put that one down on Tavares. I mean, you've got time to defend that. You know, it's.
No, I'm not putting it on him, but it's plays, isn't it? If you're going to make mistakes, things like this have knock-on effects.
Everything that's the case for everything, isn't it, Crypto? It's like when a throwing goes the wrong way. Sometimes nobody ever says much about it. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. But sometimes, a minute later they can lead to a goal. You could say, well, if that throwing hadn't been given the wrong way, you know what I mean? It's. Anyway, it's not.
Yeah, it's just annoying when it happens so often.
I mean, 100% Nico Williams' head. I'm sorry, I don't.
No.
I'm sorry, chat.
I don't know what you want here.
Nobody suggested it. No, don't do that. That's VAR. That is. Don't do that.
No.
That's not the right camera.
They were going to give it to Sinestra, but they saw that.
Yeah, that was a discussion, wasn't it, Ez?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they were signing it.
No, it's not. You've seen one slow.
Either way, if you watch the goal back, the dude behind him spun in front of him anyway. He lost his man. So either way, he's at blame. Either he headed it or he lost his man.
Well, whatever. But you can't. That's revisionism, mate.
it's not worth
revisionism.
it. He's got an agenda. Just leave him. Let him be.
It's not I'm sorry, but I can see it with my own eyes.
Montiel wouldn't have got to that. Montiel's not any taller than Nico Williams.
Montiel's a better header of the ball than Nico Williams, man.
This is worse than Ezra's Mangala.
Right. I'm gonna send it on WhatsApp. I'm gonna send it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
We all expect a full apology.
Yeah.
Let me shout out Max with a 9.99. What a guy, man. I can't lie, Wolfie. Forest will be safe by far this season. Don't worry about this Sheffield United.
Sheffield entitled.
Entitled, yeah.
I reckon Forest finish 11th to 14th. Good luck for the rest of your season. Thank you so much, Max.
Well, let's
Max,
hope so. Thank you, Max.
like Bournemouth because you're such a nice guy, man. Stop it, Max. Stop it.
To be fair, I mean, I did a show early on in season with John and who else? We had Charlie, didn't we, from CFC? And we were grading the transfer window, and we all graded Bournemouth as having had the best transfer window. It's taken a while, but I'm glad they stuck with their manager for their sake because you could see what he was trying. That was the thing. Yeah. Even though they weren't picking up results, you could see what the plan was. And you know what? I think they'll be comfortably clear. I don't think it'll be. So to get a point off them, I think that's a really good result today. And
Solanke has been on fire in other matches, so we did well to stop him today from even getting a shot.
Yeah,
exactly. Matthew's saying, watch it on the Sky Sports YouTube, have it in line, and it defo not.
I don't think it was Nico because the commentators were discussing whose goal it was.
Yeah.
So I don't think it could have been him.
I mean, I don't think it came off Sinestra's head. I think it almost came off his shoulder, but it definitely didn't come off Nico last.
Right. Oh, if
you can print, do you want to fax it, mate?
Into the mic, it would help, man. It would help.
He's gone back
talking to himself anyway.
Anyway, while Ant's doing whatever weird crap he's doing, can we talk about the keeper? Because shout out to Arctic Fox, who wasn't able to watch it, and he wants to know how the keeper was. Not as much money has been spent this window because all the FFP is going on. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's true. But let's talk about the keeper, and there's our boy Roberto. What did you think of the keeper, Crypto? Cells, better or worse than Turner?
He was definitely better. The only keeper worse than Turner at the moment is Alisson for Liverpool. But Sells is the thing is he had a game to me which is just a comfortable game like a keeper should have. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing amazing. He just gave everybody confidence and he did what he had to do. So I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we're back to having a normal keeper again. I kind of wanted him to make some wonder saves, but he didn't need to. He was solid. And bearing in mind it's his debut, it's not very often that people have a good debut. So yeah, I mean, he was as solid can be. So there's not that much to say about him. I don't think he gave confidence to the fans and his defenders. And don't forget, it's psychological as well. If you're Omar-Bamadeli and Murillo, and you can have trust in the person behind you, it's psychological too. So it's 100%. not just about saving things. It's confidence as well. You've got to have confidence in your teammates, and especially the people who play around you. Which is why I wasn't very happy with Ryan Yates.
Don't blame Sofa's score, mate. They just tell us what it says. Yeah, they had Yates really high today. I think this is a cracking point by Adam. Shout out to Adam. It's nice to know that if it wasn't his first game, we wouldn't be talking about the keeper. I think this is one of the best points I've heard.
Yeah,
because you don't want to talk about your keeper, do you, Ez?
Yeah. Like I said, it's one of those you want to set and forget. You know, you don't want to be talking about your goalkeeper week in, week out, and certainly not having to make the amount of changes to that position we have this season. But I was impressed with him in terms of just being solid. No blame for the goal. I couldn't blame him for the goal at all. Some of his long passes were actually finding Taiwo. He flicked on a couple, didn't he? Chested a couple down. So it wasn't just aimless long balls. And I think he certainly filled me with confidence. There was one occasion we briefly discussed it before we went live, where they were closing him down very quickly, and he just hit it first time and didn't panic, and like Crypto's alluded to, it breeds confidence in the players around him, and certainly in our back line, which are sorely missing confidence. So the two things that we've conceded cost us most goals and points in the last dozen games, let's say, is been our set pieces and our goalkeeper mistakes. Now we've got rid of the goalkeeper mistakes, hopefully. Now we just need to work on our set piece defending, and we can really reduce the amount of goals we're conceding. But we're always a threat going forward. So today, was a real positive for me from a goalkeeper point of view, and I hope that's a conversation we do not have to have for the rest of the season. Sorry, just last bit. I play him in a cup game. I just keep him in now.
As Laurie says as well, like he does simple things like being able to line his wall up correctly. And he did actually make quite a good save, so it was flagged as a foul, so it won't count in the stats. But the one where he tipped it over someone's head and then he lay in the goal doing a starfish for 5 minutes. I mean, that was a pretty good save. So
under a lot of pressure, and we saw Everton doing that to. Well, they certainly did it in the first half to Tottenham yesterday, and then they stopped doing it, but we were all over their goalkeeper, which was causing Spurs no end of problems yesterday. But it just goes to show under that pressure, he can handle himself. So yeah, one of those, and like I just touched on, I'd play him in a cup game. I just play him through now. Just leave him in. I wouldn't be chopping and changing again. Just no need for it until he makes a howler or a few howlers. Then there's no need for me, from my point of view, to change your goalkeeper.
Yeah, I agree with Fryer Tuck. Why was Matt Turner even on the bench? Because Hennessy was travelled with the team as well. Because there was Matt Turner and Vlack on the bench, but Hennessy was also there, but he wasn't named on the bench. So if Matt Turner's probably still our number 2, I'm guessing, but I don't think.
Is everyone saying Everton are getting their points back?
I've been seeing this for the last few days on Twitter. So I don't know where it started, but there's a speculation going around that Everton are going to have their 10 points reduced to 4. I've seen it loads on Twitter the last few days.
I'd be happy with that. I'd be more than happy with that.
That sets another precedent, doesn't it? That if they're doing that, and obviously we'll find out on the results how much we were over by. But how much were they over by over a 3-year period? It was like 20 million.
They were miles over, man. They were miles.
Were they?
I think so. I don't know the ins and outs.
It was like 23, 24 million. I didn't think it was in like loads over a 3-year period.
Oh, you got to spare 23 or 24 million to do a plus or minus with. What the hell? That's loads.
No. I'm saying so they got the dock 10 points for being 23 million over. And then potentially that's going to get reduced. So it does depend on how far we were over to be able to draw some parallels to what we might get.
Yeah, but we know the maximum we could have been over is 48 million, absolute max, because of Brennan Johnson, because we were back in the green after it. So I think Forest was 30 million over. That's just a guess.
Yeah,
that's just a guess.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, they should get claws.
In fact, sorry, just on that point, Forest were definitely less than 30 million over, because the story is that had Forest sold Brennan Johnson to Brentford, we would have been in the green, and that was initially at 30 million. So Forest definitely less than 30 million over. Okay. Well, I think it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing, and I think that is quite close to what Everton's over overage was. That's what I think it was. Yeah,
I'm saying 90 million. If Everton were given all their points back and Forest were told no point deduction, even though that would drop us below them, I'd be all right with that. We can just get on with it.
Just get on with it, yeah. The sooner we know, the better, obviously. But we've just got to, like I said, we just got to get on with it, haven't we? We kind of got to block it out, have that siege mentality that definitely helped Everton immediately after the points deduction. They've kind of but they've still got that resilience that I can see in their play, and they've got a style of play which is very old-fashioned. Get the ball in, long balls, that sort of rough them up a bit. They get tons of crosses into the box. I'd love us to do that a bit more, and be more on the front foot. But I think they'll be fine anyway. If that is the case, then they'll be fine. They won't face relegation, even though I put them as one of my bottom 3 yesterday. It does depend on what they claw back. But then, like we said, it helps our case, definitely. So anything...
Can you put that up on screen, Wolfie? Just, so everybody knows that we're not trying to con them.
What?
What we
If
share.
you've been
screen-
away
you can
for
share
the
it.
last
You got
15
to present
minutes getting a picture,
I know. I've had a mere. I've had a mere kind of exact frame.
seriously,
You don't have to comment. Just put it on screen and let people.
I do have to comment because everyone knows you and Photoshop. I mean, we've seen your pictures with AFTV, right? Why the hell would I trust anything you send as a photo? Chat, do you trust Ant's photography?
Don't open that.
You've seen his AFTV pictures. What is this? Okay, what are you showing me here?
That looks more like a Bournemouth player heading that ball than it does Nico Williams heading that ball.
Okay, put it forward 2 frames.
Yeah, it slides off his head and then slides off the back of Nico's, but he got to
Also,
the
it
ball
does
first.
connect with Nico's head. The point is, if you look at 5 frames before that 17 dude, what's his name? Senesi or whatever he is, he was behind Nico Williams and turned him. Either way, you got to blame on Nico Williams. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
I'm not having it.
Yeah. Shout out to Max.
Oh, you think it's Nico's fault, he has?
No, I'm not having Nico being blamed for it.
I'm
me
blaming
neither,
it.
mate. It's ridiculous.
I'm playing the blame game.
Anyway,
we got my new favorite cherry ahead of Statman John, Max, becoming a new member. Thank you so much for the support, Max. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate that, mate.
So we talked about the goalkeeper. I guess the other thing we got to talk about is the situation. Well, you too late. You were photoshopping.
I know.
How do you stay on the keeper quickly? Go on.
No, I thought he was great. I thought he was not great. I thought he was really good. I was very pleased with it. I thought he was very solid. I wasn't nervous, and I'm pleased that we've got him. And hopefully he'll continue in that way. That's it.
Yeah.
Lefty, thank you, but I don't look 20 years younger, bro. I just look my
that would make him 1 year old.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. If I was 20 years younger, I'd be 2 years old right now. Now I'm just 22, bro. I'm just 22. When do we find out about the punishment? So we don't know is the honest answer, Tom. It's April is the time that Forest will have definitely known by, if that makes sense. I think it's worth keeping an eye. Piss off, Mark. I think it's worth keeping an eye on what happens with the Everton thing. It's really important. And I think it's in our interest that Everton get their points reinstated.
Massively.
So I think that's what we need to see. Because if Everton get reinstated their points, then Forest have a really good case to not have any points taken off them.
Yeah.
And we got Nick Marco as well, who's going to just sort us out. So.
They'll probably end up paying us.
Huh? Sounds like the Beppe DeMarco. He sounds like one of the DeMarco brothers from bloody EastEnders, mate. Beppe, wasn't it? Beppe and what was the other one? You're looking at me like that fucking doesn't exist. Guys, in the chat, the DeMarco brothers in EastEnders from years ago.
We're not saying they don't exist, as we're just saying they only exist in the minds of EastEnders watchers.
Who's DeMarco? I used to watch EastEnders like 15 years ago. I don't remember DeMarco.
Remember the DeMarco brothers? There was one with
let's just say and move on.
I remember Ross Kemp and his brother.
Dominic,
yes, it was
speaking of DeMarco brother, are you a DeMarco brother?
Because I bumped into one of them on my way to it. It was about 25 years ago.
I don't care. I care more about Dominic becoming a new member because he's a legend. Look at his picture as well. That's a happy clapper right there, Dominic. Loving it.
Get
this fucking message off, man.
Get the likes in. It's only 147 likes and 400 of you in it.
Please excuse Ez's lack of respect towards
my real age. I'll tell you my real age. I'm like this fakey up there. I'm 45, bro. Sure.
45. He's a liar. 55. He's 26. He's don't believe him.
55.
So you wouldn't believe that, but it is actually true.
Dominic, thank you all the same, bro. Appreciate it. Even though it is really disrespectful to you. Who is the oldest person in the chat? Is anyone older than Ant? That's what I want to know in the chat.
Andrew pipes up.
Firing bullets at S4. Jack, did you not see mine and Ez's preview for the Arsenal game, man?
No, we didn't.
Isn't it? It's scumbag.
He is. I know.
Text on my man right there, man.
Absolute prick.
Anyway, right. Oh, Andy, you're 66. No, you're not. You're born 1978. 66, mate.
Are people fibbing now? Because I can see a 65.
69.
And I'm 21, which I know is not true. Don't forget, I've met you, Mark.
Yeah, you catfish.
Wait, Mark's claiming he's 21. Shut up, Mark, man. Shut up, man. Anyway, okay. What was the other thing I wanted to? I want to talk about the situation, right? So it kind of nicely leads on to this Everton thing and everything. Honestly, I was getting such a downer from the chat and the player ratings. Yeah, happy birthday, Moody, for Wednesday. Hopefully, Forest beat Bristol City for your birthday. Should we be worried? Is my real question to you, boys. Crypto, I want you to kick us off on this. And chat, are you worried? Because a lot of you in the player ratings were. Hopefully, we've kind of relaxed you up a little. And there is 400 of you in here. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. But Crypto, should we be worried, and are you worried?
No, I mean, one thing we haven't really touched on, which I think is going to be a massive positive for us, is Reina and Ribeiro. We have it on good authority that they've been performing really well in training, etc. So I think once the AFCON lads come back, we haven't seen Nuno with a full team yet. We haven't seen, Aina, there's Sangare, when potentially Bolly and Niakate get played if needs be. But look, my only concern after finding out some information about half an hour ago is that
in the no, Crypto.
Chris Wood is out for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So we don't have a backup striker. Now, it's not very often that Awani plays for the full 90 minutes. So I really hope that they can get Ribeiro pretty much up to speed straight away. But I don't think we don't need to worry, do we? Look, if this was Cooper, we would have lost today. We were losing all our away games last year, or nearly all of them. To go to Bournemouth today and get a 1-1, yes, it's not a win, but their key player, who's one of the top in the stats again, he didn't even have a shot. So it's going to come together. Give it a bit more time. I think it's good that we're actually in the FA Cup, because I think Wednesday will be good, especially for the new lads and the keeper to gel, because they're straight in. They've had probably one training session. So look, I'm not worried about Chris Wood. I'm worried that there's no backup striker with experience to Taiwo. I just hope Taiwo can stay fit. But I don't think.
Hold on. You're saying that, Crypto. Where's Origi? Because as far as I know, he's not.
I forgot about that. So yeah, Origi's still with us, 100% confirmed. And we've still got Origi. So we may actually see him maybe on the bench over the next few games. But yeah, no, I don't think we need to worry yet. I can understand why people are worried. I think the biggest thing that worries me is probably the FFP or the PSR. If we didn't have that looming over us, I can't see that we'd get relegated. And I don't think we will get relegated. But, it's just, we don't know, do we? If we get 10 points deducted, then we'd be a bit screwed, wouldn't we? So, look, I think it'll only get better. It'll only get better when the players come in. We've got a full team. They've had more time under Nuno to train. And, yeah. If, like Ez said, if we can make the City ground a fortress again, then there's no reason why we should get relegated. But let's be honest though, we are definitely playing a relegation battle. I mean, it's not like we're aiming for 10th. We're aiming to stay up, I think.
Yeah. So a couple of points.
I'm just curious to ask Owen. Shout out to Owen. Hopefully your mugs arrived, bro.
Yeah, you mug.
Would you still be worried if Cooper was in charge, Owen? It's a genuine, honest question. I want to know, would you have the same feelings? Just out of pure curiosity. Curiosity is the word I was looking for. Go on, Ed.
And I think a couple of points there. We have actually got the next 3 games, including a cup game at home. So it's an opportunity to build up that fortress mentality at home. And I think that will be the thing that probably sees us over the line. But I think we've definitely been, under Nuno, we've been more competitive away from home. We haven't, I don't think there's a single game we've been out of, so that's a positive. And in terms of one of the things that's hampered him really is that because we ended up having to have replays in the cup, he really hasn't spent much time on the training field. So when we touched on earlier about getting his message across, without a week or so in training with the players, it's very hard to get that, because like he said, most of the time it's just recovery for the players because they're playing games. There's not much time to actually spend on the training field. So once we get out of this run of fixtures where we're playing twice a week, 2-3 times a week, it's going to be difficult for him to get that message across. So let's get through these next few games. Let's hopefully we progress in the cup, and then we've got Newcastle at home straight after that, and then a week before we play West Ham at home. So like I say, next 3 games are at home. Good opportunity to get some players involved as well in this cup game. If for example Origi is available, you got to be looking to start.
Is that true? I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yates. Why would Yates be? Has he picked up too many bookings? He probably has.
No, because it's been extended, hasn't it? So now you have to get 10 before you. And I don't think he's
the
at
cup's
10.
different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't they count for cup games and not league games, or is that the league cup?
It's different. It's different cups, isn't it? Different cups count.
I'm pretty sure it's all domestic. No, but I still don't get why Reina wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's right.
We'll fact check it as always, but I don't think that's.
I just got to disagree with you about the training thing. I agree with Rob. I think that's why I wasn't disappointed we drew with Bristol City, because I see them as bonus match time where he can start to.
Yeah,
match time. Yes,
match time is better than training.
No, but you still have to get your you do certain set plays and things like that, don't you, in training? I don't think we've had the time to spend on that. I think that is a hindrance, and that definitely has been a hindrance. Cup games are the games, but I'm talking about the actual practice on the field and getting your message across from that point of view. He's not had the opportunity to do that, and especially with the new signings who've just come in, he's probably hardly spent any time on the training pitch with them. So give that time, that will happen. But he's a progressive manager, and I've seen nothing but positive since he's been in all around the club. And I think
Can we shout out how smart our chat is? Can we shout out how smart our chat is? Seriously. Nothing goes amiss. Shout out to Lucky Robot, Adams. So Yates, the new boys weren't registered in time for the first game, as this is a replay. They still can't play. That's disappointing, man.
That's
the only reason I bought my ticket. Does anybody want 3 tickets to Wednesday night?
Wait,
Matt Turner's going to be in goal.
I've never heard that.
Matt Turner's going to be in goal. Never heard of Matt Turner? He's shit. Matt Turner's going to be in goal.
No, I haven't heard that beforehand, but that does make sense, doesn't it?
It makes sense if it's a replay, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think any player should be cup tied for any game. I think if you bought a player, your player, you should be able to play him, but that's a separate issue.
Yeah,
I guess it's like a fair thing.
I think I agree with Georgius, man. I think Vac needs a shout to be second.
Yeah, I'd play Black. I wouldn't play
Shelby.
Play
Shelby.
I mean, that's disappointing. I was kind of looking forward to the cup match. I thought maybe we could drop MGW, rest him, put Reina in the 10th.
Yeah.
That's kind of fair.
So it's going to be quite bad, because today we didn't have enough players to fill the bench because there was 2 keepers on it.
Yeah.
And then you're saying on Wednesday we're not going to have Sells, we're not going to have Reina, we're not going to have Ribeiro. So how many keepers are we going to have on the bench? We're going to have Andy Reid's going to come back and sit on the bench. We don't have enough players to fill the bench.
In the last round, he had a lot of youth players on the bench, didn't he? In both times.
We'll
probably do that again. But that is a shame. That is a bit of a shame. I'm not going to the game, but I know there's many that did buy tickets in the hope, like Crypto himself, that we would get to see some of our new toys. But positives from what we did see today, I think all 3 of them look decent. The goalkeeper, Reina, and Ribeiro. He looked lively, Ribeiro, when he came on. He didn't impact the game. And neither did Reina, but Reina looked like he wanted the ball, and he looked very comfortable. And we touched on it. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was, a lot taller than I thought he was.
It's like Murillo, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've heard
no, Murillo's not as tall. Reina's tall.
Yeah, tall.
Yeah,
he's
quite
not
6'1" bulky. He's just tall. He looks.
I think he's only 6'1". I'm pretty sure he's 6'1". Someone check Sophie.
Yeah, you might be right, but he looked taller. Perhaps he's wearing high heels.
Check.
We've heard as well from the team that they're both performing really well in training, which is good. So first training session, they've kind of shone a
Yeah.
light on them. So only positives. I
He's
think
come to
from-
play, hasn't he? Rayner's definitely come here to play games, so he'll get some game time hopefully. And I did notice that he almost was given a free role because it at one point looked like we had two cams playing. You know, he was very he wasn't stuck to a position, was he? So he wants to get involved. He's got a good touch on him. Didn't give the ball away in the brief little flurry of passes that he had, and it's positive. You know, everyone's got a lot of good things to say about him. You know, the commentators during the game were saying this could be a marquee signing for Forest. You know, we'll have to wait.
They
and
were
see how
excited, weren't they, about Rayner?
They were, yeah, they were very excited.
They were also calling us Notts Forest, though, so you can't really.
Well, he
No,
said
no,
it very
one guy called
early in
it
the game.
once. Come on, get off
He
your
said
high
it
horse.
once, you know, bloody hell,
Go
and that
round
doesn't
with
bother me.
Estrafada, I don't think Alan Tate's recovered from his yellow card yet.
Who? Oh, Tatey.
What?
Tatey.
Chat, are you confident? Those who are
What's
saying
that
they're
thing
cup
like
tied, are
Alan
you
Tate?
confident they're cup tied because they're not registered? Do I need to ask the club about it?
I think it makes sense if it weren't in the original title, because it's a replay. I can understand that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of get that, Ed. I can't. It's just I've never heard that before, but maybe I've just never.
Yeah, I don't think we've not been
come
in a
across it,
situation where it's
maybe.
come up.
I guess it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you could say it's not fair if you're going to just play a load of different
No,
players.
because you get players coming back from injury, don't you, and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
can play.
But
You don't have
when
to
it's
put out
new
exactly the
players,
same team, do you? In fact, no,
No,
that's
but when
rubbish
it's-
thinking about it. Just because he didn't play in the first game, needed
No,
did
the
off
registry-
outside.
No, I think it's just the new players, the
Registered,
ones who needed to be registered.
Yeah, no, I get that, Ed, but that's why it would be logical, because if you had a player that was injured, he can play. So
Yeah.
what's the difference?
So basically, what you're saying is
Robot,
that
I'm just saying I don't think it's a very sensible rule. I'm not doubting what you're saying. I just don't think it's a very
what we're trying to say is that come Wednesday, Matt Turner's going to concede about 4 goals, and we're going to get knocked out of the FA Cup.
I'm confident he won't play Matt Turner.
Black. It's got to be black.
He's got to be black.
And then after the
Black or
match,
even
we'll be
Henderson,
complaining
mate.
about black.
And then he'll
won't-
let 4 goals in.
Exactly. We'll be complaining about
Yeah,
it.
when we'll know. When we'll know.
Playing
Alright,
them
I
both
said-
in goal, they probably can't stop it between them.
You've not asked me if I'm worried anyway. I don't know if you're interested in what I've got to say, in my opinion.
No, really. I got distracted by this cup thing, but go on. I'll pretend I'm interested. Go on.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I said it on last night's GOR. I'm counting on no more than a 6 point. It's like all I'm bothered about is PSR now. I'm not bothered about results on the pitch because they don't matter. You know, if you get too many PSR, you know what I'm saying? They do matter, but you know what I'm saying.
Not really.
So I'm relying
Good.
and that news about Everton, maybe I'm counting on Everton getting a reduction on appeal down to 6, because then they can't give us more than 6. They can't. It wouldn't make sense. So I think we can overcome a 6 point deduction. I also mentioned last night that Everton are with us. So as long as we stay, we're going to stay above Sheffield United and Burnley anyway. So as long as we stay above Everton, we're safe. That's where I'm looking at it. So I'm concerned, obviously, but you know, I believe we've got the players to get us out.
My thinking is a little bit of the opposite of yours. So I'm not worried about PSR. I'm more worried about what we can do. If we can get the points on the board, I'm not worried about PSR then. You know, because I do believe they will have theirs reduced, which will mean that we'll have less than a 10-point deduction. And I think anything less than 10 points we can deal with. When it gets to 10 points, and that's a bit more of a concern, isn't it? You know, but 6 points, or even if it goes down to 4 points, which is what some of the rumors are, you know, that's we can handle that, and we have got the opportunity with some of the games coming up.
What are these games coming up? Because they look bloody horrible to me.
Well,
Wait. Hold on. Breaking news.
Home fixtures. That's what I'm on about.
Don't say Sells is injured.
Let me bring up a picture for you guys.
No, it's Worrell. Bound to be Worrell. Bound to be.
Has he got his Derby County scarf on?
It needs to be Besiktas shirt.
Here we go. It is confirmed. Our one of our own, and his Besiktas shirt.
Nice shirt.
That's not very good Photoshop. That's not.
Yeah, his neck has been.
Why is he wearing a Not County shirt that's been in the wash too many times?
It does look a bit like that, doesn't it? How do you guys feel? I don't know yet, but I'm getting messages saying it's a loan.
I heard it was a loan with option to buy.
loan,
that's
and
all
that,
we do.
that probably
Yeah,
makes
loan.
sense. That
That's all we do,
600k, 600k loan fee.
Yeah.
We're like a
confirm to you
Premier
guys
League
if
lending
there's
library.
tomorrow.
We are. We just loan
Mhm.
out everything.
Yeah, I know. I've got loads of messages. I need to go through them, but we'll put a video out in the morning explaining. I'll confirm all tomorrow, but it sounds like it's a loan from glancing at my messages, and that
Yeah.
makes sense. That 600k loan fee.
Yeah.
I'll find out if there's an option to buy or an obligation or anything like that. But fair
Mm.
play to him. I didn't think he'd go abroad because he's got a family. I think he's got a couple of kids.
Yeah.
And fair play to him.
Okay.
Turkey's a
I
lovely
didn't know.
country. Turkey's a lovely-
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Will
Oh,
says, he loves to
amazing.
be back.
All right, shout out to Jubby as well. I
Jobby.
think he's in the chat. Okay, here's the FA Cup rules. All players shall be qualified as players according to the rules of the association. A player shall not play for more than one club in the competition in the same season. All players must have been eligible to play in the original tie in order to play in a replayed one or postponed match. However, a player who has been suspended according to the disciplinary procedure under the rules of the association may play in a postponed or replayed match after the term of the suspension has expired. A substitute who does not play in a match is entitled to play for another club. Okay, thank you for sharing that. That's okay, so they can't play.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to Wednesday, man. I was
Yeah.
looking forward to Wednesday.
Mm. It's a shame. It is a real shame because, especially like I said, a lot of people would have bought tickets hoping to see that, and it probably means that certain players are going to have to play.
It's just
but
the replay, isn't it? So they'll be all right for Man
Yeah.
United. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, what's Domingos and Yates done?
I don't think that's right. I don't think that bit's right. But the three,
I'm sure that if you get 2 yellow cards in the FA Cup, you miss the
Might
FA
be.
Cup match.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Is he still in the chat? Maybe I'll explain it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, no, I'm
they
pretty
must be on
sure if you get two yellow cards, it doesn't go over to the league anymore, which used to be terrible.
Yeah, I know
versa.
League Cup does though. League Cup still does. So League Cup, but not the FA Cup.
Yeah, so I think if you get 2 yellows, you miss the game.
All right, just to save time,
Okay.
I'll sort it all out in a video tomorrow. So
Yeah,
everyone's
we'll put
on
up
what's
for a
going
video.
on.
But,
Well, I'm a little disappointed, Will. You haven't been watching the dailies, have you? Like, where have you been, Will? Where have you been, Will? Seriously, Will. Stop chilling with your mate Psycho. No, we haven't talked about it, but we will at some point. All right, I said to these guys we're going to run for an hour. That went out the window about 17 minutes ago. So
yeah,
we will wrap up there. It's been a fun stream. I've enjoyed it. I feel more relaxed. Hopefully you guys do as well. I know some of you are worried and on edge, but we're the Happy Clapper brigade now. All right. If you need to feel cheered up, we have our Happy Clapper juice right here. We're fully behind everything that's going on, and we will cheer you up. So make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already. We're back with a daily tomorrow. And don't forget, it's a quick turnaround. 2 games coming up in the next 6 or so days. So it's going to be fun times. Let's get a couple of wins. Thanks, Will. I tried to go for your Mohican, but I haven't got the good looks to pull that one off, buddy.
It's not got the street cred either, Will.
You got the street cred, Will. Exactly. All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, wait. Before you go, Jordan. Sorry, man. I saw it and then forgot to bring it up. Love you, Jordan. Thank you for the 199. Hey, boys. Sorry I'm late. Hope all is good. Because you were late, I brought it up late, Jordan. Only joking, but thank you so much for all your support of the channel. We'll catch you tomorrow. I'm off to bed, man. I'm shattered.
Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.